Anthropic launched Claude Fable 5 today, and the most load-bearing sentence in the announcement isn't about the model. It's about the harness. The Fable 5 launch landed June 9, 2026. $10 in, $50 out per million tokens, included on Pro, Max, Team, and seat-based enterprise plans through June 26. Anthropic's own duration claim is harness-framed. Run Claude Fable 5 in an agent harness like Claude Code, and it can work for days, planning across stages, delegating to sub-agents, checking its own work. The autonomy verbs belong to the harness, not raw model output. A May 2026 paper measured it. Harness-induced variance in agent benchmarks runs 7.8 times larger than model-induced. Same Claude Opus 4. 5.45. 9% on SWE Bench Pro under the standardized seal scaffold, 55.4% under Claude Code. A 9.5-point swing, zero model change. Long horizon autonomy isn't in the weights, it's AI agent orchestration. And this episode has the receipts. A million-line codebase nobody handwrote, the enforcement primitives Anthropic just shipped, a bash loop that throws memory away on purpose, and how to run your first unattended loop this week. Everyone is tuning the wrong layer. Metiar's February 13th numbers. Codex CLI beat their simple triframe loop in 14.5% of bootstrap samples on GPT-5. Claude Code beat plain React 50.7% with Opus 4. 5. A coin flip, neither statistically significant. Meta's words. They aren't obviously better than the default scaffolds we use for our agents. Our red, not Meta's. The unlock is human-engineered workflow structure. Anthropic defines agent workflows as LLMs and tools orchestrated through predefined code paths. 5 patterns. Prompt chaining, routing, parallelization, orchestrator workers, evaluator optimizer. Even the simplest, prompt chaining, ships with programmatic checks, gating intermediate steps. Berkeley's masked taxonomy annotated 1,642 traces across 7 frameworks. 14 multi-agent failure modes. Failure rates from 41 to 86.7%, roughly 43% system design. 1 verification step added to ChatDev lifted task success 15.6%. A practitioner analysis puts 64% of AI pipeline risk at the schema layer. Failures that pass without error. Workflows versus prompts. Prompt engineering versus orchestration. The prompt is not the program. OpenAI's own team shipped a million-line codebase with 0 lines of manually written code. They call the discipline harness engineering. 3 engineers, growing to 7 over 5 months, drove Codex to that million lines across roughly 1,500 merged pull requests, 3.5 per engineer per day, an estimated 1/10 the handwritten time. The trail. GPT-5 Codex, September 15, 2025. Working independently for more than 7 hours, fixing its own test failures. Then GPT-5. 1 Codex Max shipped compaction, native training across multiple context windows, and OpenAI reported internal tasks past 24 hours. Reality check. Measured its 50% time horizon around 2 hours 40 minutes versus GPT-5's 2 hours 17. The bridge is the harness. February 23, 2026, OpenAI's dev blog. Codex ran for about 25 hours uninterrupted, used about 13 million tokens, and generated about 30,000 lines of code. 4 durable markdown memory files, verification commands after milestones, credit to the loop, not one-shot intelligence. OpenAI named the layer. The Codex harness, the agent loop under every Codex experience. Threads you resume, fork, archive. The long horizon coding agent got productized. The product is the loop. OpenAI productized the loop. Anthropic shipped the enforcement primitives. And its own launch copy says where the autonomy lives. In the Slay the Spire eval, persistent file-based memory improved Fable's performance 3 times more than for Opus 4.8. And it reached the final act 3 times more often. 2 distinct 3 times figures, and the memory uplift is harness, not weights. Stripe reports the model performed a codebase-wide migration in a 50 million-line Ruby codebase in a day, work that would otherwise have taken a whole team over 2 months by hand. Deterministic control lives in Claude code hooks. 30 lifecycle events, 5 handler types. Exit code 2 is a blocking error. Its standard error text feeds straight back to Claude. A stop hook exiting 2 prevents Claude from stopping entirely. So, when is the agent done? Becomes deterministic hook code. Claude code subagents run in their own context windows with custom system prompts and tool allow lists. Experimental agent teams claim tasks with file locking to prevent race conditions. And task budgets show the model a running token countdown for the whole agentic loop. Minimum 20,000 tokens. So the Fable 5 Claude code loop self-moderates end-to-end. 3 vendors just compiled the same technique into their agent products. 1 line of bash that throws the model's memory away on purpose. Jeffrey Huntley named it Ralph, a bash loop. Cat prompt.md into Claude code, forever. The Ralph loop discards conversation history by construction. Every iteration refeeds 4 locked files. Prompt, the fix plan, the specs, and agent.md, which Ralph self-updates with learnings. Git commits and the codebase are the external memory. Huntley's self-reported math. A $50,000 contract delivered for $297. 6 repos shipped overnight. The rule: 1 item per loop, because output quality clips between 147 and 152,000 tokens. Chroma's context rot study tested 18 models, focused 300 token prompts, beat 113,000 token full prompts on every one. The Ralph Wiggum technique became a first-class primitive. Anthropic's official plugin runs a stop hook loop that blocks session exit, capped by max iterations, with a hard stop after 8 consecutive blocks. Codex goal mode ships a verifiable stopping condition. Gemini's extension thanks Huntley by name. Fresh Context Agents 1. The amnesia was the feature. Amnesia only works if every handoff is written down. A JSON schema isn't formatting. It's the contract that lets Stage 2 trust Stage 1 without rereading its work. Adherence is engineering, not a model property. GPT-4's June 2023 checkpoint scored under 40% on complex schemas. Trained GPT-4o hit 93. Constrained decoding closed it to 100. Riding a newer model, granted. Anthropic's structured outputs, generally available for Fable 5, compile schemas into token-constraining grammars. No parse errors, no schema violation retries, grammars cached 24 hours. The Claude Agent SDK extends the JSON schema contract across multi-turn runs. Tools mid-run, validated JSON at the end. Failure is typed, never free text garbage. Microsoft's Magentic 1 keeps 2 ledgers. A task ledger of facts and plans, a per-step progress ledger. Stall counter past 2. Replan from the ledger. OpenAI's SDK makes agent handoffs typed tool calls. Refund agent becomes transfer to refund agent. Pydantic validated before the callback fires. The JSON Hertz reasoning objection didn't replicate. Prompts held equal. Structured matched or beat free form. GSM 8K, 0.78 versus 0.77. Xgrammar makes schema validation for agents near free, up to 100 times faster. The contract is cheap. Rereading Stage 1 is not. Harness variance runs 7. 8 times model variance. Yet the prompt side has receipts. Here's the honest scoreboard, workflow column. Agent reliability math. At 95% per step, a 20-step agent's odds are about 36%. At 99, about 82. At 100 steps, 99 falls to roughly 37. Compounding error in agents punishes the exponent. Prompt tuning nudges the base. Anthropic C compiler. 16 parallel Claude agents, just under 20, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 100, 0, 0, 0 lines compiling Linux 6. 9. Carlini. The task verifier must be nearly perfect, or Claude solves the wrong problem. Harness only change. Terminal bench 2, 69. 7 to 77. 0% on the same model. GPT-5, 4, not Claude. SW bench scaffold variation, up to 15 points. Prompt column. OpenAI's 3 GPT-4, 1 instructions lifted internal SWE bench verified close to 20%. Planning alone, 4%. Behavior contracts inside a harness. Prompt sensitivity to formatting swings up to 76 points on Llama 2 13B, roughly 10 across 53 tasks. Older open models. GPA prompt optimization beats GRPO by 6% average, up to 20, with up to 35 times fewer rollouts. Except GEPA is an automated eval loop. The workflow optimizes the prompt. Your first long-running agent harness is a bash wrapper, a JSON ledger full of passes false, and a completion promise. Start at 10 iterations, not 50. How to run a Ralph loop. Snark Tank Ralph, 20, 118 stars. Fresh instance, clean context, every iteration, default is 10. When every story hits passes true, it prints the complete promise and exits. GeoCodio's weekend build is the autonomous coding loop tutorial. Cat prompty.md pipe to Claude print, max iterations 50, agent state files. Pradi.json flipping to passes true. 2 full apps, Friday 4 p.m. to Sunday evening. Scope it. Migrations, refactors, dependency updates, test cleanups. Definition of done stated up front. 12-factor agents, 23, 200 stars. Production agents are mostly deterministic code, LLM steps sprinkled in, 3 to 20 steps, 1 practitioner's estimate. A 50 iteration loop runs $50 to $100 plus. 1 dev burnt 2 Claude Max 20x subscriptions, $400 a month, in a few days. Stay close. Ralph amplifies operator skill. Payoff. 1 refactor cut a test suite from 4 minutes to 2 seconds. When OpenAI's harness team hit failures, the fix was almost never try harder, because the prompt is not the program. The workflow is. Engineers asked, what capability is missing? And how do we make it both legible and enforceable for the agent? That's the workflows over prompts takeaway. Agent harness design. Project Vend, Phase 1. Claudius lost money. Phase 2's most impactful change. Forcing Claudius to follow procedures. Weeks with negative profit margin largely eliminated. Now running in 3 cities. The intelligence-shaped fix, a CEO supervisor agent, had a mixed, possibly negative effect. Toby Ord, on NetNIA's data, the AI agent half-life is measurable. A constant per-minute failure rate, success decaying exponentially with task length. Structure moves the exponent. Mitch Ashley at Futurum. Delegate a bounded work block the agent owns end-to-end, not a prompt. Anthropic agrees. Define done as a gradable outcome rubric. Iterate, grade, revise. Default 3 iterations, max 20. Make the missing capability legible. Make it enforceable. Anthropic says Fable 5 can work for days. And now you know which word in that sentence is load-bearing. The harness.